My brother's wife is coming over. She's pregnant, and just seeing you makes her nauseous, my wife said coldly, standing in the doorway of our bedroom, arms crossed, her tone as sharp as shattered glass. Pack your things and stay at my dad's house while she's here. I looked at her, feeling the sting of her words, the bitterness behind them, and slowly I smiled. Oh, I'll be leaving all right. But not for the reason she thought. I had suspected something was wrong for weeks, maybe months. Little things. The coldness in her eyes where warmth used to live, the way she recoiled at my touch, the suddenly sacred privacy of her phone, the change in her scent, not her perfume, but something in her energy, something I couldn't name, but I could feel. We weren't always like this. When we married 4 years ago, I thought we had something rare, real. We danced in the kitchen at midnight. We wrote notes on the bathroom mirror. We promised forever with trembling hands and hopeful hearts. But slowly she drifted, and I stayed. I stayed, trying to hold something together that she was already tearing apart. So when she told me to leave, because my presence was apparently enough to upset her pregnant sister-in-law, I understood something deeper was happening. I didn't argue. I nodded. I packed, but not to go to her father's house, because that morning I had already seen something I wasn't supposed to. My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. No text, just an image. A blurry photo, taken from a distance, of my wife wrapped in the arms of someone who wasn't me. Someone who was, in fact, my brother. At first, I thought it was a mistake. A cruel prank. But the photo was followed by another and another. Clearer. Closer. The timestamp didn't lie. I felt my stomach twist, my heart thunder, so loudly I thought I might be dying. My brother, the one I grew up defending in school, the one who stood beside me as my best man, the one I thought I'd trust with my life, and my wife, the woman I gave everything to. Everything suddenly made sense. Her disdain, her distance, the way she snapped at me when his name came up. How she seemed to care more about his wife's pregnancy than she ever cared about starting a family with me. They were together, behind our backs, behind closed doors. And I was the fool trying to keep the pieces together while they shattered everything behind me. I didn't scream. I didn't confront them. Not yet. I waited. I needed to see it for myself. I needed more than a photo. I needed to watch the mask fall. And then today, she gave me the perfect excuse to leave. Told me I was unwanted in my own home. Pretended it was about someone else's nausea, when in truth, she couldn't stand my eyes anymore, because they reminded her of the lies she told. So I left, quietly, calmly, but not before placing a small envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside it, the photos, printed, undeniable. I didn't go to her father's house. I went to a hotel. I booked a room for the night, ordered nothing, ate nothing, just sat on the bed and stared at the wall, trying to remember when it all went wrong. At 1:23 a.m., my phone rang. Her name flashed on the screen. I let it ring. Then it rang again, and then came the messages. Can we talk? I don't know what you saw, but it's not what it looks like. Please just come home. We made a mistake. She admitted it. I didn't reply. There was nothing to say. Nothing that would take away what they did, what they destroyed. The next morning, I met with a lawyer. I handed over everything. The messages, the photos, the timeline. And I added one final document to the folder, a copy of the deed to the house. It was in my name, paid off before we ever met. She would have to leave. When she came home from wherever she'd run to, she'd find an empty closet, a legal notice, and silence. Not rage, not revenge, just the consequence of betrayal. A week later, my brother tried calling too, left a voicemail that started with, "I didn't mean for this to happen," and ended with, "Please talk to me." I deleted it without listening to the middle, because some things don't deserve explanation. My brother's wife eventually found out too, probably from the fallout I left behind. I heard she moved out, pregnant and alone. I felt for her, not because I owed her anything, but because I knew how it felt to be blindsided by people who were supposed to protect your heart. Months passed. I found my peace in solitude, in healing, in long drives with no destination, in learning to cook for one, in remembering who I was before they broke me. And little by little, I started smiling again, not because everything was okay, but because I was free. Some people leave your life like a storm, loud, chaotic, destructive. But sometimes the best closure comes quietly, like a door clicking shut, and the sound of your own footsteps walking away.